Around here, it's your guess as good as mine, but we are only moments away from going green flag racing for 20 minutes in the CGRC's Sigma 135 race, their first this weekend. And the lights are on, and it's lights out, and away we go then for the first of their races in round number 7 of their championship. And as they charge their way away, already a big scuffle further on back, practically 4 wide there, but at the front of the field, it looks like it's been a reasonable start for Rook, the guest driver that everybody was keeping an eye on in terms of how fast he is, as everyone's starting to make their way through. 3, 4, 5 wide further on back, some having to take to the gravel there. Oh goodness me, that was very close to the tyre barrier from one of the drivers further on down, and well, they've all safely negotiated it in the end, although I can think there was a few squeaky bum moments from our drivers, particularly further down the order. Oh goodness me, that's a big run round there. I think somebody collected the tyre barrier at the chicane, Caterham rolling backwards there into the grass, and thankfully the number 68, as it makes its way back together, is able to return under its own volition. But that could have been far, far worse there, given how tight it is through. But all the drivers being very respectful there, and I think recognising the fact when things go wrong, everyone needs to step out of it immediately. They're charging their way out now towards the second half of the lap at the front of the field, but they won't be cognizant of what's happened further back necessarily, as the racing now starts to build up in tempo here. And where it does look as though our 145 driver, Brook, the pole sitter, starting to pull away, but we do have the Waiting Rowers on the attack. In fact, hold the phone there, and he had a bit of change of position, I think. No, might have deceived me there. It is still Rook lead from the 145, and well, they all come out to Sunny in and Sunny out, and now down towards the complex, and split in the field also starting to emerge. And I suspect the chicane incident definitely playing a big part in that, but the number 68 that went round at the heart of all that was the car Butler. But as I say, very happy to see that the guest driver is able to get things turned around and back up to speed. So the first lap comes to a close, and as it does so there, we do see a potential move being made by the 51, trying to make a move. It's Arnold there, trying to gain back place he's lost. Well, after one lap, the top 3 are unchanged, but meanwhile, in full, Ewan has already moved ahead of Bailey, and Bailey dropping down to 5th place, Warnock, Derry, and Gunter following behind. There you can see on the time down the left-hand side of your screen, all the drivers inside the top 20, but not further afield. And well, now everyone will settle in here, and this is where it starts to get very tactical, because for those of you who follow this, or perhaps do not follow it, either way, what case is both of you there, these Caterhams, very fast cars in their own right, really lightweight machines, have very little weight to them. They've also got much more engines in terms of the amount of power that's delivered, so they are momentum-based cars. And speaking of momentum there, that was side by side, that was a big move being made, and I think that was going to be Derry trying to make a move on Warnock there, and we'll further back to number 73 coming up through the corner. That's going to be the guest car Cross that's fallen it down, in fact falling down the order point considerably, 2 places, lost to both Arnold and Hans, and Arnold moving up 5 places there, all the way up into 7th in trophy, and in turn just outside the top 10. But as the field then comes back together here, the point being you will see pack racing, you will see drivers that trying to use the slipstream off of one another, and at Silverstone with a long straight, we got to see pack, so it really did feel as though it was the Tour de France, albeit in Caterham. Here at Croft, a very technical circuit, a circuit which doesn't have as many straights or long straightaways, and that means you will see pack racing, but of a different kind, where the field will gradually start to segue its way apart, or at least that's the intention. That's the prediction of a number of drivers here, and what everyone right now really in the train, pulling Rook around. It looks like our 145 driver here just doing everything right, holding on to that lead. You can see a bit of a sniffer move there being made from our number 42, and that's Warner there trying to make another play, so he's going to look for it here versus Bailey. He looks one side then the other, he's going to look around the outside into that green zone. He's not going to, well, in fact he won't be looking down the outside, he'll be on the inside there. Meanwhile at the front of the field, that is Ewan trying to get a little bit further up the running order, as the 49 driver here tries to go for 2nd place, looking to get past Waitman. And when I caught up with Ewan in the build up today, Paul was saying to me he expected his main challengers for overall victory to be Rook and also the Waitman brothers, and that is definitely being demonstrated right now in the fact he's battling hard with them. He's got one of the 2 brothers behind and then the other one in front, but very shortly he's now going to be moving up, and well, he moves up there not just in positions but also moving up in ages, because he is celebrating his birthday today, celebrating his 36th birthday. A big shout out there to Tom Ewan for what is another birthday and another trip round the sun. Just refer to him Paul, but actually his name's Tom, and I apologise there, I do stumble over names every so often. But as I try to make the thing on around here, 5 minutes complete almost, and we've still got 15 minutes to go. Indeed, it is going to be a longer race here, but these Caterhams can take it. There from our number 98 driver, and well, the number 95 Gunter also on the attack. Right now, everyone settles back in, and that's when you'll see episodes where we'll see close up side racing, but it becomes very tactical. Racing Caterhams is almost as if you're playing a game of high-speed chess. fact you have to use all of the strength of your car, which is, you've got a very lightweight car, you can put it in different places in the circuit, it's very compliant. However, when you're in a pack, if you haven't got anybody in front of you, you haven't got the slipstream. And that's why you can see there Rook weaving one way, then the other, because he does have Tom McEwen continuing to get closer and closer as they head down towards turn number 1. And 5 minutes complete now, and already that pressure starting to build. And he's got an opportunity to try and get involved, to try and take that overall lead, and therefore just put some more daylight between himself and Neil Warnock in particular, who's all the way down in place at the moment, but second place in the championship class, and that will be his biggest concern. Because remember, championship drivers, they score points based on where they finish in the class. Trophy drivers, meanwhile, and that being the likes of the Waitmans, they take points based on where they finish overall. And guest drivers, they are not factored into the equation at all. But there we see a switchback move being played by our 42. That's Warnock looking for the opportunity to try and retake the pace. He has been passed by Charles Derry, and those two scrambling over second place in championship, and they're fighting for second place in the championship standings in effect, with McEwen being in a little bit of a world of his own at the moment. And well, speaking of that, he has taken the lead of the race, and well, that's happened just recently, and right now, well, can he run away with it here? All the question for Tom McEwen, and something tells me that right now the runner-up in 2024 in the Sigma 135 Trophy was committed to a full championship season this year, and that commitment is definitely on display as Rook immediately tries to come back at him, but there's no way through. And well, behind them, the Waitman brothers here continuing to watch, wait and listen, and it is going to be now the game of, will Tom McEwen be able to pull away, or will he have to worry about the pressure that's going to be applied to him by Rook and company? See there in 5th place, Warnock a little bit further behind, and indeed Derry with him, albeit now opposite order there, my name is Sergey Correct. Indeed Derry has got past, and well, here comes the move then, the return move down to turn number 1. Let's go look around the outside, there is Rook, but we'll see McEwen there just park the car on apex, doesn't let it roll too deep, and therefore just gradually nurses the car through, and being very cognizant of where exactly he needs to position that Caterham in order to prevent Rook from being able to get ahead, or really just running side by side through the corner. But right now Rook will be applying little bits of pressure here, little bits of pressure there, and again you can see in the slipstream, that's where the Caterham really build up the speed, and we'll wait when Brothers going side by side just behind, so 2 by 2 they come into Tower Bend, and Rook's going to go around the outside, but on the outside line of course he can't get the power down as happily as he would, so therefore he will lose a bit of time. We see a swap of position for the lead as the rest of the field then comes into one camera shot, and as they wind their way to Jim Clark S's here with single file for the top 4, they're so close they can reach out and touch each other right now in terms of bodywork of the cars, and towards the right-hander Sunny out, where is Rook going to bleed into this group as they roll on through, but again it can change at any moment, and that's why we're not trying to get too excited with producing the change of places, because the thing with Caterhams is they can change at any second, and it's all going to come down to who's leading come the very last lap. I mean, that to be fair can be said of any racing, but in these Caterhams it really is, because when you're in the draft you can gain 45 miles an hour on a straight compared to your rivals, and that speed gain can essentially swing you right past another car. You can see there briefly, I believe that was Adam Waitman looking for an opportunity to try and get past his brother, but not quite able to find him there, and just having to wait. Luke Waitman started second, he's now in 3rd. Still waiting to have an opportunity. Oh, a big sideways skip there over the apex curve of Clervaux, and that was Adam Waitman going sideways there, taking a bit too much curve, sending the car off his axis, and well, able to collect it there before it ended up going any further away from him. But he's pushing hard, and in the end, not quite getting it right. But what's notable there, a little further back, Charles Derry, 5th place, is pulled away from the rest of the fight for 6th, and as the leaders really occupy the attention in the foreground of the camera shot, we can see now the fact that more pressure is being applied here, and Neil Warnock is actually falling backwards there, as he's now got the pressure of Bailey in the 131, the guest driver there, who's trying to put him under some grandiose pressure, and Neil Warnock, this is not the way he wants it to go at all, because if he continues to fall backwards, already he does have Thomas Gunter between himself and Charles Derry, and they're fighting for second place in championship positions. What does look though, Charles today has really come into this one wanting to pull away from Warnock. Warnock needs to come back at him in order to be able to try and level the playing field. We've got plenty of rounds remaining, plenty of races remaining. I wonder whether now, as we're starting to head into the second half of the season, that pressure is building. But speaking of pressure, that's a run deep there from our second place runner of Tom McEwen. He's gone deep, brings it back together, but falls down to 4th place there. Was there an error into the first part of the complex? Something tells me he may have gone a a bit too deep on the brakes. They carried a bit too much speed in the chase after Rook. And Rook now just running down the start-finish straight, but this opens up an opportunity because now it'll be Luke Waitman who looks to try and go around the outside of him. And well, we can see there one of the tyre covers bounced up and down on the rear of Rook's car. Was there contact between the two of them? And that may be why we're seeing the visible evidence or aftermath of what happened between them. But that's a swap of the lead, and that's Luke Waitman in the lead now in Trophy. And in terms of how the points are scored, remember, Trophy class drivers, they have to take oval victory if they want to score winners' points. They can't afford to finish behind championship drives, and that's why racing Trophy, it's not harder in the sense in terms of a championship campaign. It's more difficult race to race, whereas we see it battle side by side there. Things are now definitely starting to get gloves off here as we head into the second half of the race distance. 10 minutes on the clock. Rook and Waitman absolutely going all in, and Adam Waitman behind his brother Luke is just watching on there and thinking, okay, how do I get involved? How do I play a role in this? Well, the answer is he's got to wait here and be very patient, because right now it does look as though whatever Rook can do, Luke Waitman says, I can do it too. Tommy Ewan behind, and we can see there in fifth place with Giles Derry is caught up to the back of this, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the rest of the top 10 suddenly get on the back of this, because it's only 1.5 seconds between them, and then Thomas Gunter, Neil Warnock, Scott Bailey and Soden all close up little by little, and you can see there, is that a run deep again? Yes it is, and that is a, oh my good lord, and he just gets it stopped on a dime there, the does Tommy Ewan, but that enables Giles Derry to move on through, and right now Ewan, I don't think he's feeling comfortable anymore. I think, is there something slightly wrong with that Caterham? It just does not look composed at all under braking anymore, particularly through complex, because he is defending, so he'll be offline, but right now that just does not look to be a happy Caterham runner, and well, going all the way up to the front of the field. That's a look around the outside there. Rook absolutely sliding his way around the outside of Waitman. A lovely move there, and we can understand that Luke Waitman's not going to take as much of a defensive stance there, battling a guest driver, just because they don't technically factor into the point. He'll want to take the overall win, of course, but right now, and we see a swap of places there, and that is going to be a member of the Waitman family making their way through that. We had a Waitman coming up at the position, and more of the two brothers here working together and trying to slipstream off each other on the back of Rook in order for the way for the rest of the field, because there we see Giles Derry having to go defensive through Tower Corner. What do we mean by that? Well, what we mean is essentially in the fact that every time this rival tries to go around the outside, he's got to be late on the brakes, and he's really got to dive into the corner. He's essentially got to attack his way into a corner in order to prevent the move happening. And of course, but Ewing's have to back off on corner exit. It costs them both a lot of time, and therefore you do run the risk of the top three pulling away. Right now, I think the championship fight is definitely taking priority in the minds of these two drivers. Albeit, you need to get around 2 seconds distance before you start to not feel the effects of the tow anymore, so therefore they're going to be feeling quite safe for the fact they're still on the second off of the top three. That top three definitely trying to creep away as much as possible. Look at how it's pulled the entire field together. All this fight, and this is what we love to see in the creators. Everyone gets compressed together, and right now it's anybody's guess who is going to be the winner on the championship class. It's anybody's guess who's going to be the winner of the trophy class out of the two Waitman brothers, and also we've got our guest drivers in there as well, who they may not be taking points, but they definitely want to take the prize of being victors. We do see them looking for the opportunity around the outside, and Derry going defensive again there, and well, now they'll be getting the measure of each other, and this time no worries, no dramas coming through the corners, but it is definitely a battle for that championship lead. It's become more and more the centre of focus as behind that side by side between Gunter and Warnock, and they both made the way through there. I think they have, albeit not without some grass being kicked up, and we'll try and understand who made the position there as that, oh goodness me, that's going very slowly, and I think that's me Ewing going slow there. I think something has broken on that Caterham. Alternatively, he's found a fault, he's trying to get the car restarted, because he's fallen all the way down, and this race is going from good to bad to disaster as quickly as that. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse for him, but right now for Tom Ewing, this is not the way he wanted to start off his racing this weekend at Croft. He's going backwards very fast rate. But where one has demise, the others will rise up and score more points potentially, or at least the opportunity is open to them. That's the way the championship goes. Also keep in mind, in the championship they do have multiple drop rounds or really drop races, so therefore there is an opportunity when you have a bad day in the office, when you have 1 or 2 races that don't go your way, you do drop drop them. Of course, you want to try and save as many drop races as possible towards the end of the season in order to give yourself the opportunity to really have the worst results at the very end of the season, go into the last couple rounds as strong as possible. As that is a big spin round there for the 42. That's Neil Warnock that's gone around, yellow flag waving, and well, very quickly gets himself back in the run. I wonder if we potentially get a replay of what's happened there, or whether we will be in the short course. We'll find out, but that's gone very wrong. And how did this shake up the field, I hear you ask? Well, what it does do is it does see Warnock fall all the way down to 13th place. Also, Thomas Gunther and McEwen, they drop down as well, and suddenly it is now Giles Derry ahead of Solden in the fight for 4th and 5th, and at the very front, well, it does seem as though right now it's the Rook-Wakeman battle all the way on around, but there we do say in the Caroline's attention right now, completely understanding what the fight of championship drivers here, and well, that championship battle is not getting any calmer as it's 3 wide there heading towards Tower Bend, and well, Muir in a car that has definitely been bruised. It's not been broken yet. Front right wheel arch is up now. Well, he makes his way around there, he gets up the inside, takes the place, and well, a good move there. That will move him back up into 6th place if my observations are correct. That gets him ahead of Bailey, but he won't come to right behind, and the Derry Solden pair, they'll be running away, albeit they're quite spaced up under the road. You might see them come from the bottom of the camera very shortly. In fact, there they go. But as the drivers are all the way around here, Tom McEwen, let's get his name right. Well, he'll be thinking to himself, what do I have to do in order to bring those places home right now? We've just got to keep the pressure off behind me. Definitely having a very challenging day of racing, no doubt about it. Neil Warnock, it has gone backwards for him as well, so a lot of pressure on to our championship contenders, and well, that pressure is definitely being felt. We see 2 wide there, sweep round the outside, and that is still Derry holding on there to 4th place, lead the championship class. But you can see how the guest driver on Bailey still in the mix, and Tom McEwen also there, and it also does mean that the top 3 in the championship are starting to compress a little bit together, although there's still some daylight between them from each other. Run down the order, also some other changes that I do believe, and those changes involve of Croft is moved ahead of Arnold for 11th place, or weight into a not a change in class position, one is guest, involved one championship class driver, and also we have had Vincent with up to 14th place, let's take that or let's say up to there. 3 minutes then left on the clock, so this lap plus another 2 if my mathematics is correct. Our leaders right now, the top 3, they have got the best part 3 seconds of time between themselves and then 4th place Giles Derry, and right now the leader of the championship class won't be too upset about that, and for Rook and the Wakeman brothers here, they're enjoying the absolute brilliant ding-dong battle for the lead. Rook right now doing everything right after being under so much pressure early on. He seems to have restabilised this race in his favour, albeit you can imagine here that the Wakeman brothers, we look at this and thinking, okay, we've still got a bit of time left, we've still got a few laps left to go, so when do we potentially go for the move? And of course they won't want to go too soon, because if they go too soon and the battling starts to kick off, they'll bring Giles Derry into the mix right again, because we've seen the battling so far, it costs the best part of 1 to 2 seconds a lap as a minimum, so you've got to be patient. That's the word we're going to keep saying throughout the entirety of this weekend with last case for racing, but we are seeing as well the fact that because you've got a limited number of straights, and you've got a lot of corners intervening between those straights, and they're not fast corners necessarily, but you have the Jim Clark S's and also Croft into sunny in and out. What it does is it naturally leads to the field spreading out to a degree, and once you lose the pack in front, then you're relegated to either work with your rival, is what we like to say in the saying, is the enemy of my enemy is my friend, because you become friends for a brief moment to try and catch up to the next pack. Alternatively, if you can't sort that out, then you end up fighting each other more and more, and you fight for lower places. But we did see a big sideways moment there for number 60, that was Solden almost into the gravel there coming from Clevo, but back at the front of the field. Well, now things are definitely kicking off here, as that's going to be a swap position. That will be Adam Wakeman moving up into the overall lead ahead of Rook. But we've seen this before, but what will it take in order for him to feel comfortable? As very lonely Giles Derry there in 4th place, leader of championship. Well, he just watches on right now, knows that he doesn't need to do anything more. But these 3 heading in towards the sunny corner right now. The sunshine's definitely showering them with a lot of praise. We'll be in the Conte booth. They're able to negotiate this lap plus 1 more with absolute aplomb, which I'm sure they will. Roaring the way on around then. And, well, it does mean that Rook now is under pressure from Luke Wakeman, who I think has decided, okay, I'm going to take a leaf out of my brother's book here and try and put a bit more pressure on. However, he doesn't come closer. If anything, Rook's going to try and come back here. Complex isn't where it's going to be. I suspect it'll be the hairpin and a drag race down to Clairvaux, because we will have 1 more lap after this. If we're left hand, they go with there. If we the hairpin and corner, which a number of drivers are saying to me, the thing they've been learning at this corner is you don't have to trail brake that much into the corner. You trail brake a lot less than you think you have to, because it is such an elongated hairpin. It's one of the tightest hairpins in the world at the top then. As they roar the way in towards turn of 1, then here they go for the final time, and it is going to be the battle of the Waitmans versus Rook, who is going to be finishing on that top step. How will they finish on that podium? We're about to find out, ladies and gentlemen. Our two trophy drivers, our guest driver here, absolutely enjoying an absolutely change, a brilliant battle in action. But right now it's Adam Waitman who leads with Rook in second and Luke Waitman in third. But you can see that Adam Waitman trying to break the toe. You see a bit of debris on the circuit, but it's off the race line, indeed it's off the actual tarmac itself. But here comes Rook, looking up the inside, then going all in on the brakes. It's very narrow into Tower Bend, and well, Waitman's got to give him the space. Rook in the end does get it stopped just about there. They should make each other a great race, all the respecting room. Luke Waitman looks at this meanwhile and looks an opportunity to try and get involved, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Giles Derry further back has got Tom Ewing closing quite rapidly on him. Ewing is still 2 seconds back, so he'll distant toe, but not enough. Back to the front of the field here, and Rook defend on the inside through Barcroft in towards Sunny he comes. Through that right hander he does, and in the end it is going to be back in the hands of Rook, albeit we've still got 4 corners to go plus a drag race to line, so this isn't over yet. And Adam Waitman trying to prove that point, literally all over the back of him like a bad rash. In towards Complex they come then. And looking around the outside, this will be to try and snap back the inside, but Rook in the end just drags the car nice and deep into the corner. It's a quick look up the inside, he tries to go for the faint dive, and it doesn't quite work out. So Rook right now has only got 1 corner and about 200 metres to go to that line, and as he makes his way on through, it's going to be going the way of Rook. I guess driving the 145 because the checker flag waves, and in the end it's a slender margin, but it does go the way of Rook. Adam Waitman in second, Luke Waitman in third, and then we will have Giles Derry coming home with the championship honours in 4th place ahead of Tom Ewing. That's your top 5 with Bailey in 6th. Then we do have completing the championship podium, and with Thomas Gunter in 7th ahead of Morris, Conway Dixon and Soden to complete the top 10. And will that top 10 absolutely brilliant all the way through, and indeed a round of applause for all the drivers there. Whilst we're focused quite heavily on the top 10, there were so many stories up and down the field, and in the end, well, as they all come to the finish line, we've still got a few drivers further on down our 38 car running order. I believe we are going to see all 38 cars make it to the end of this race, or hopefully we will. Car number 57 there making its way around, and that being the car of none other than White, one of our last runners, albeit still enjoying himself out there, no doubts about it. And as all the field comes to line, and goodness me, ladies and gentlemen, what a race. We've got a drag race there between 2 of our drivers, and in the end that going the way of Walter over James. Also we have had votes finish ahead of Trinder just about there as they come across the line. Well, that really brings to a close the first 20 minutes of racing action for the P4 Emergency Light Indicating Racing Academy Signal 135. As last one tries there towards that timeline, well, we get last off there. We'll be Baker and White, and Walker finishes 30. Well, may not be on the pace as one of rivals, but still gets the checker flag. That's good fun out there, and racing. But what a set of battles from right in front of the field. And in the end, we can only go one way in terms of who's taking it. David Rook absolutely delivering out there. And the wheel drives make the call down that fantastic racing. But here are your provisional results, ladies and gentlemen. As we see David Rook, our guest driver, taking victory after 13 laps turned. 7 attempts over Adam Waitman. Waitman taking trophy class honours there, a brilliant performance from him ahead of brother Luke. Those two in the end able to steer clear of all the battling drama over the distance. Giles Derry making it back to the top step in the championship. He'll be absolutely ecstatic with that, and that's a win he's needed. Tom Ewing in the end fell down the order. Curious as to what happened, because we saw him going very slowly unless he takes the escape road through the chicane and lost all the momentum as a result. He may have done by having 7th, 5th place, 2nd in championship. Andrew Bailey gets driver finishing 6th ahead of Thomas Gunter, and then Henry Morris, Louis Dixon and Mark Soden who completed your top 10. Gunter shout out for 3rd place in the championship class ahead of 3rd place trophy driver Henry Morris, but he does take home for 8th place points. Gary Cross 11th, best of the rest ahead of Neil Warner, who in the end fell all the way down the order after that big incident we did see, and Simon Arnold and Andrew Segar completing your top 14. Fastest lap of the race going to Adam Waitman at 1 minute 34.3, and that was sent towards the end of the race there in the toe, and he'll be definitely very happy to take the fastest lap. But the racing was absolutely razor sharp up and down the field, but great racing respect shown. That's the one thing you always see in these Caterhams. But that's enough about the racing here from our commentary booth and the cameras. Let's go down to Parc Ferme and hear from our drivers and the excitement of all the racing. Over to Ian.
Well, David Rook came into Parc Fermé here with the biggest smile on his face. I can see the smile in the eyes there, David. And I'll tell you something, you played a blinder there, coming in second on the last lap as you came over the line, and then obviously you made the move.
Well, the move was really complicated because it started at Tower. We ran side by side through the next corner left, the next corner right, and it was on Sunny Inn that I actually managed to get ahead. But these guys drove epic. That was awesome, that last lap, mate. Well done. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, amazing. I just showed up here to guest and have some fun and put it on P1.
I love that. I just showed up. What does it mean to get the P1?
Oh, it's lovely. It's incredible. I've not raced for quite a long time, so it's nice to come back and have a go.
Can we have you back, please?
I'd love to come back. Yeah, 100%.
Well done. Congratulations.
Cheers,
Sure, we got the weight.